All right, let's just picture it for a second. It's early January 2026. You know that initial New Year's buzz? Yeah, for most people, it's pretty much gone. The New Year, New Me posts are a distant memory, the gym memberships have been bought, and life has already kind of snapped right back to the same old routine.
Now, I want you to do a little thought experiment with me. Let's fast forward. It's January 1st, 2027, and your future self is looking back at all of 2026. What's going through their mind? Because when you really boil it down, there are only two things they could possibly be thinking.
Are they thinking, wow, 2026? That was the year everything changed for me? Or are they thinking, well, another year just went by? The gap between those two thoughts is absolutely massive, and it's being decided by the choices you make starting right now.
And let's be really clear about something. This is not some fluffy motivational speech. Real, lasting change. It almost never happens in some big, flashy moment. No, it happens quietly. It happens in the tiny little decisions and shifts you make every single day. And this, right here, is one of those decision points.
So, to make the right choice, we have to understand why we get stuck in the first place. What is the anatomy of being stuck? Why do we stay the same, even when we desperately want to change?
Okay, first things first. You are not stuck because you're lazy. Let's just get that out of the way. You're stuck because your entire life, right down to the little details, is perfectly engineered to keep you exactly where you are. Think about it. The same phone, serving up the same apps, sending you the same notifications, which leads to the same late-night scrolling. It's a powerful loop that just reinforces itself.
And get this, your brain is actively working to protect the system. It has this default setting we can call comfort mode, and its number one job isn't to make you successful or fulfilled. Its job is to keep you safe. And to your brain, anything new, growth, discomfort, it feels like a risk. It feels like a threat that it needs to shut down.
So when you get all fired up and say, okay, this year I'm finally going to do it, your brain's comfort mode doesn't put up a big fight. It's much smarter than that. It just quietly whispers one simple, devastatingly effective phrase. Not today, tomorrow. And that one little word has probably destroyed more futures than anything else.
But then, a day comes. And it's usually not some big external crisis, it's an internal one. You just get tired. You get tired of breaking promises to yourself. Tired of knowing you have more potential. And this little voice inside you finally speaks up and says, I'm just so tired of this version of me.
Now, if that voice sounds even a little bit familiar, listen up. That feeling is not weakness. It is the exact opposite. It's awareness. It is the first crucial sign that you are actually ready for a real change to happen.
And that brings us to the real solution here. It's not about finding more willpower. It's not about discipline hacks. It's about something way deeper. It's about the identity shift. It's about moving from trying to do something to being someone.
Seriously, this is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. You don't need to go on a hunt for motivation. You don't need to feel inspired. What you actually need is to change your identity. Just look at the difference on this slide. It's so powerful. The old mindset says, I'm trying to be disciplined. See how that implies a struggle? It implies effort, and it leaves the door wide open for failure. The new identity, though, it just states, I am a disciplined person. One is a wish, the other is a fact. And guess what? Your actions will always follow your identity.
So why does this actually work? Well, it's because your words are literally programming your mind. Every single sentence you say to yourself about yourself is a direct instruction to your subconscious. You are constantly telling yourself who you are. The only question is, what instructions are you feeding it? All right, so let's make this real. Let's talk about how this all turns into action. We're not talking about some grand 5-year plan. We're talking about your turning point. And it starts right now with a few practical steps you can take today, not tomorrow, today.
You don't have to flip your entire life upside down at once. You just have to do one small thing that your future self would be proud of. Just read 5 pages of a book. Just work with intense focus for 10 minutes. Just sit for a bit with your phone silenced. These aren't life-shattering changes. They're daily votes for the new identity you're building.
And this leads to maybe the single most important rule you can possibly follow. Don't let today be a zero. It doesn't matter how tired you are, how unmotivated you feel. Do at least one tiny thing that moves you forward. Just make sure the day doesn't end as a total zero.
And please, stop waiting for motivation to magically show up. It won't. Instead, make your environment your greatest weapon. Put that book you want to read right on your desk where you can't ignore it. Leave your phone by the door when you need to focus.
You want to make your good habits super easy and your bad habits a total pain. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence.
Now, as we start to wrap this up, I want a few things to really sink in. So listen closely. First, you are not behind.
Next, you are not broken. There is absolutely nothing fundamentally wrong with you. And maybe most importantly, you have to remember this. You are just in the starting chapters of your story. And yeah, starting chapters can feel slow. They can even feel boring sometimes because nobody really celebrates them. But the endings? They're only written by the people who don't quit during those early parts.
Look, 2026 is happening. It's already moving. It's not going to wait for any of us. So the real question isn't, how will this year be? The only question that matters is, when this year is over, who will you be?
And that really just leaves you with a clear choice. Are you going to be the same person, or are you going to be a stronger version? Are you going to have the same old habits, or are you going to set a new standard for yourself?
So let's make this that decision point. Right now, I want you to say this to yourself, slowly and really mean it. 2026 is my turning point. Not tomorrow, not next week. It starts with one small